Hi loves, Lauren here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I have got a little treat for you today. We are going to do a beautiful wind down. Whether you've come to the end of just a really busy day or maybe the end of a busy week, this is going to hopefully sequence just to kind of bring that week, bring that day to an end, and hopefully settle us in for perhaps a good night's sleep or just a lovely rest. Okay, so you're essentially just going to move through kind of four main poses. That's all it is on both sides, and do feel free to bring in as much in as you like, just to bring in some extra coziness, extra comfort. So I've got a little pillow here, but you're more than welcome to grab some blankets, grab as many cushions as you like. Fluffy socks are always highly encouraged for this. And yes, stay cozy, stay warm, and when you're ready, meet me on the mat in a reclined butterfly. Beautiful. Okay, so when we're ready, we're going to gently bring the soles of the feet together. Knees out to the side. This is kind of our first shape of our practice, and you're welcome to have that cushion back behind you. Maybe start to lean into hands. We're just going to slowly come to lie back here. Make sure the back of the head also feels supported. So sometimes it's nice to have the head ever so slightly more elevated than the shoulders, perhaps. Beautiful. And then you might take the arms out wide, or maybe the hands come to rest on the belly or chest. Just choose which works best for you here. Let's just sink here for a few moments, shall we? And so sometimes this shape feels really comfortable for us to lie back in, but at other times it can actually make us feel quite vulnerable, quite exposed maybe. So know that at any moment, you're more than welcome to bring the knees to a close and just maybe find a little internal rotation after this deep external rotation. So you're more than welcome to be here instead, and feel free to adjust as many times as you need to. So don't feel as though as we come to one shape that you have to absolutely commit to that shape and stay there for as long as you can. There's always other things we can bring in just to tailor the shape and tailor the practice just to suit you and suit where you're at today. Beautiful. And letting the eyes just gently drift to a close, closing off the outside world. And perhaps if you have the hands resting upon the belly or chest, you might feel that subtle movement of the breath, this gentle rise and fall. And as we always do, we use the breath just to help guide our focus here, so we can tune out of our day and land into our physical bodies, land into the breath. And as always, that can take some time, so no need to rush. It can take as long as it needs to. And perhaps just seeing if we can let the body really just sink into the earth here, allowing ourselves to drop in little by little, bit by bit. And at the same time as we sink to the earth, imagine the earth also rising up to greet you here. Imagine the arms of the earth just gently wrapping around your body now, holding you close, keeping you safe, keeping you warm. I'm not going to be here for too much longer, maybe just a couple more breaths. Just let yourselves slowly dive on in. Perhaps you gradually take that slightly deeper inhale, filling up the lungs entirely. You're welcome to take a big breath out. Maybe just one more of those here. Really well done. And then let's just gently reach the hands down to the outside edge of the thighs, a little wriggle through the toes and the fingertips maybe as you go. So the hands land to the outside edge of the thighs. And then gently encourage the knees to come back to a close. Beautiful. So letting the knees knock together for a moment, you're welcome to step the feet that little bit further apart and just see how it feels to find that little internal rotation after that deep external rotation within the hips maybe. Take another deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Super well done. Then we're going to be really gentle with ourselves throughout this entire practice, but especially during these transitions. So being really gentle as you just softly roll to one side. It doesn't matter which direction you go in for now. So maybe you roll to the right or the left. And as you roll to that one side, use your hands to help you to gently peel the body away from the mat, rising all the way up to seated. Beautiful. And really, really do take your time here. Okay. And then from here, as we come to seated, you're more than welcome to bring that cushion now out in front of you. And you're going to bring your right shin to the top of the mat and just start to send that left leg back behind. Now, you're more than welcome to keep this left knee bent. Maybe you almost have a right angle in both knees. It might feel comfortable for you to bring the hands down to the cushion or down to the mat just in front of this right shin. Or you might push down through the hands, lift the hips, and start to lengthen that left leg straight back behind you. So you're going to see if you can really lengthen that left leg as far back as it wants to go. So you can create space for the hips to draw equally down towards the mat. So we're going to try not to crash down to one side, nor the right, nor the left, but let both hips sink equally down to the mat as one. And you might just have a little wriggle from side to side here. Again, finding that little bit of space, that little bit of softness. Sometimes it's nice to bring in this kind of comforting rock a little bit. Beautiful. And then when you're ready to, do feel free to use as many props as you'd like here. But maybe you slowly bring the forearms down to this cushion, not down to the block. You can bunch it up slightly to give you a little bit more height. Beautiful. And we're just going to slowly arrive here, coming into that slightly deeper stretch for the hip space. You can keep that subtle rock going from side to side. Beautiful. Okay. And still see if we can find this kind of heaviness for the body. Can we just slowly sink little by little, bit by bit? Beautiful. Almost like we can kind of surrender our entire body weight into the mat here, into the earth, knowing that the earth is there to welcome us, to receive us, and draw us in close. Really well done. And can we again take those deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Lovely. Let's just take 2 more, shall we? One more. Really well done. And then from here, let's just push down through the hands. Take your time again as you start to rise, lifting the heart space back up. And then this time you're actually going to let your right hip come down to the ground and slowly sweep your left leg all the way back out in front. So you're actually going to bring your left leg extended to the top of the mat, and the sole of that right foot just resting on the inside of that left leg. You could use your cushion to sit up upon, just to give you a little bit more height maybe, or you might just keep it, you might even kind of lay it on top of that left leg. That might feel quite nice. Okay, we're gonna keep that left leg passive, so don't worry about digging the heel into the ground and lifting the toes up to the sky. Let the left leg relax. The toes might flop out to the side slightly here. Okay, and maybe the fingertips come down either side of that left leg. Let's just take a deep breath in to grow as tall as we can. And then as we exhale, we're just going to slowly start to creep the fingertips forwards and start to fold over this left leg. Beautiful, really well done. Okay, and let's really not worry about how far we fold here, but just really focus on softening into the stretch. So you're welcome to release through the back of the neck. Maybe the crown of the head dives that little bit further forwards. You might even be able to rest your forehead on your cushion or on your prop. Maybe in order for that to happen, you fold the cushion up a couple of times, maybe. Might be something you'd like to try. Super, okay. And when you arrive into wherever you want to be in the stretch, let yourselves again just give in a little bit here. As we come into these different shapes, we might even kind of send our mind's eye throughout different places in the body and just see where we might be gripping, where we might be holding on to here. Perhaps over time, can we loosen that grip ever so slightly? Invite in that little bit more space, that little bit more softness. Really well done. And even as you fold forwards, even as the belly might be getting ever so slightly compressed here, can we take that deep breath in, feel the expansion through the sides of the body. Deep breath out. And again, it's just 2 more here. One more. Really, really well done. Again, gently inhale to rise back up, creep the fingertips back towards you, slowly stacking up bone by bone. Really well done. And then maybe we'll bring that cushion out to just to the left-hand side of us. And again, maybe you keep it slightly folded. It might come handy in a moment. Or you might come to lie back on it. So you're going to keep the legs relatively as they are. Make sure you have plenty of space back behind you. So you're going to keep that left leg extended, keep that right knee falling out to that right hand side. Use your hands to help you as you just softly come to lie all the way back on your backs. Lovely. Okay, so it's almost like we take this supine tree pose on the mat here. Beautiful. So you might feel a little stretch through the inner right thigh maybe. Maybe we take the arms out wide here as long as space allows. And if you've got slightly limited space, maybe you take a bend through the elbow so you take a little cactus shape. Okay. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Really well done. Let's just take one more here. Super. And then as you inhale, let's gently lift that right knee to point back up to the sky. So the sole of that right foot comes back flat down to the earth. And then you're going to subtly take that right knee into the sky and then send this right knee across the body over to the left-hand side. And maybe this right knee lands upon that cushion that's kind of waiting for you there. Beautiful. So you slowly come into this spinal twist. Really well done. And there might be a few clicks or cracks through the spine. Mine just did as well here. Lovely. And as best you can, keep the arms out wide or keep the elbows out wide at least here. Okay. So as you let that right hip peel away from the mat, can we encourage our right shoulder blade to stay roughly down towards the earth? No worries if it lifts off slightly here. Okay. Beautiful. And let's really think here as you take that deep breath in, can you breathe into the right side of the waist? Again, feel that expansion. And as you exhale, let it go. Super. One more here. Really, really well done. As we inhale, let's gently take that right knee back up to the sky. So you carefully roll all the way back onto your backs. Well done. Maybe there's a little adjustment of the hips that needs to happen here, just so the hips can land neutral back down towards the mat. And then from here, let's just extend that right leg along next to left. Really well done. Maybe there's a little wriggle of those right toes. And you might take a moment just to bring that cushion over to the other side, so it's over to the right hand side. And we're actually going to reverse our way through those few shapes we've just done. Okay, so we keep the elbows out wide. Left knee starts to come in towards the chest. Beautiful. It floats up towards the sky, and then when you're ready, take it across the body over to the right. So maybe that left knee lands upon that cushion. Beautiful. That left knee might even come down to the ground if that's where it wants to go, but know that you don't always have to push to reach your maximum. Sometimes it's nice to take that little step back and come to a place just that feels that little bit more comfortable maybe. Okay, so there's no need to really overexert the body here. There's no need to be pushing or pulling or forcing anything, but arriving into these shapes at our own pace and just letting ourselves be here for a moment. Super. Okay, really well done. And again, can we take that deep breath in, send it to the left side of the waist. Exhale, let the body get heavier and heavier. Really well done. Okay, and as we inhale, let's softly make our way back onto our backs. Really well done. Left foot comes flat down to the ground. Again, take a moment to level off the hips here. And then you're going to let that left knee fall out to the left-hand side again. So you find that supine tree pose on the other side. And maybe there's that deep stretch within the inner left thigh here. We're not here for too long. Maybe it's just one more big breath in. One more big breath out. Okay. And again, let's really take this steady. So this time you're going to roll to the left-hand side and you're going to keep the legs relatively where they are. So you just kind of roll the upper body to the left-hand side, start to lift it through the head and heart. And then you push down through the hands to softly rise all the way up here. And hopefully you arrive up to seated magically with that right leg extended and the left knee out to that left hand side, ready for that forward fold on the other side. So hopefully you can see how we're kind of reversing our way through here. Maybe you grab that cushion again, and maybe you place it on top of the extended leg, and again let that right leg completely relax here. Take that deep breath in, find a little bit of length through the spine, growing that little bit taller. And then as we exhale, slowly melting the heart forwards over this right leg. You might creep the fingertips that little bit further forwards or further ahead, releasing through the back of the neck. Maybe again the forehead comes down to the cushion, or just bring it down as low as it wants to go. You could even turn the head to one side, bring a cheek down to the cushion, as long as that doesn't overstretch one side of the neck here. Really well done. And perhaps with the breath here, as we arrive into the same shape just on the second side, there might be a couple of differences we notice here. So you might start to send the breath to where you feel this most in the body. Perhaps you feel it most within the hamstrings, those muscles that run up and down the back of the thigh. Perhaps it's more across the lower spine here. Or perhaps it's somewhere else. Again, just notice what your experience is here on the mat. Doesn't matter what else is going on, just see how this feels. Beautiful. Take another slow, steady breath in. And a breath out. Really well done. As we inhale, let's just softly creep the fingertips back towards us, steadily rising all the way back up. Really well done. Take your time. Okay. And then let's keep that cushion out in front of us. Let's lean a little bit to the left-hand side and start to sweep the right leg back behind you now. Now, same options apply as they did before. So welcome to keep that left shin out in front, bend through that right knee so you have kind of a right angle in both knees here. Maybe the hands come down just in front of that left shin to come into just a variation of pigeon pose here. Or maybe you push down through the hands, lift the hips that little bit higher, and start to lengthen that right leg to the back of the mat. So the right leg goes straight back behind you, wriggling it as far back as it wants to go, creating space for the hips to drop down. And you can be on the top of that right foot so the knee can stay down to the ground here. And again, maybe we find this comforting little rock from side to side. Shake it off, almost like we can literally kind of wriggle off our day here. Well done. Take one more deep breath in. And as we exhale, here we go, back down onto those forearms maybe. Super. Notice how soft this cushion is, how it literally welcomes your body closer and closer to the earth. Lovely, well done. Okay, maybe that wriggle continues, maybe that soft sway continues from side to side. Don't feel as though you have to be in complete stillness here. But keep that breath moving throughout the body. Can you feel it all the way down towards those right toes back behind you? Can you feel it all the way up to the crown of your head, to your fingertips maybe? That breath, that prana, that life force, softly moving right the way through. And then again, just bringing in that little bit more space, that little bit more softness. Giving the body permission to just rest here. Super. And let's maybe just take one more deep breath in. One more deep breath out. And then we're going to push down through the hands. Again, steadily start to rise back up. Beautiful. And then this time, you're going to tuck those right toes under back behind you. Start to walk that right knee in a couple of times until you are free to then unravel that left leg and start to send it back behind you. So you might come into a little tabletop here. But then literally from here, we're going to start to come all the way down onto our belly. So you're more than welcome to just steadily walk the knees back behind you. Maybe you ripple the body down towards the mat. Careful as you go. And we're going to take this cozy final shape of our practice. You're more than welcome to maybe bring one hand on top of the other and then maybe slowly lengthen the legs back behind you. Forehead might come down to the back of the hands, or you're more than welcome to turn the head to one side and bring a cheek down to the back of the hands instead. And let's just slowly wind down that a little bit more here. So perhaps feeling as though we can surrender our entire body weight into the mat even more now. Let the belly rest, let the legs be heavy. Perhaps the shoulders get that a little bit heavier, they might even roll forward slightly. and feeling this complete and utter support beneath you. So knowing that nothing can take you from this moment, we are rooted, we are held. And again, perhaps as we sink down to the earth, imagine the earth rising up to greet you here, drawing you close, keeping you safe, keeping you held. Beautiful. Let the breath continue as it is, finding that slow, steady pace as best as you can. Perhaps with every breath we take here, we drift that little bit further, or we sink that little bit more into this little slumber, perhaps. We're not quite asleep, but we're still very much aware, but everything is at peace here. The body is at rest. The mind is steady. And seeing if we can perhaps slowly slip into this blissful, dream-like state. And as always, nothing else matters here. This is the time just for you, just for your practice. So indulge in this time as best as you can. And just keep on sinking, little by little, bit by bit. Perhaps coming into our final few breaths around about now. Taking that deep breath in through the nose, filling up the lungs as best as you can, breathing into the back body here. Exhale, letting it all go. A couple more times, just breathing that little bit more life into the body now, creating space. And then ever so gently, when we're ready, let's start to lift the forehead away from the back of the hands, slowly starting to rise up here, ever so gently. Be as soft as we can, again, without kind of moving the body with too much force. Gently pushing the ground away, see if we can rise back up onto our hands and onto our knees. And just take it steady as you slowly bring yourselves back down to seated. So sit bones down to the earth. Maybe you come to cross-legged, maybe you prop yourself up on your cushion. Okay, take a few moments to arrive here. And maybe palms of the hands land upon the knees. There's this conscious slide of the shoulders down and away from the ears. And let's just take a deep breath in through the nose. And softly sigh out through the mouth. Beautiful. Really well done. And actually, let's seal this practice with a little blessing, shall we? So keeping the eyes closed, closing off the outside world, sealing this practice with just a few final words. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you at night. May the rain wash away your worries. And may the breeze blow new strength throughout your being. And may you walk through the world knowing its beauty all the days of your life. And with that, the palms of the hands gently come together in front of the heart. And we softly bow. Beautiful. And you can rise on up when you're ready. Open your eyes when you're ready. And see if we can keep that soft, heavy feeling in the body. And maybe this is the perfect time just to kind of slowly crawl into your beds and just slip into that peaceful, dreamful state. All right. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I do hope you enjoyed that little wind down flow. And yeah, I hope that Zen stays with you, perhaps until we next meet on the mat. So I look forward to seeing you then. All right. Bye. Hey yogi, thank you so much for practicing with me. I really hope you enjoyed your practice. Just thought I'd sneak in at the end here and say, if you are wanting to practice a little bit more, if you perhaps want to dive a little bit deeper into the beautiful world of yoga, then the great news is that I'm offering one-to-ones online. So you can join me from the comfort of your home, me from mine, and we can get together either live online or I'll pre-record some classes just for you. And the beauty of those practices is that they are tailored geared to what you desire. So if you're just wanting to learn a little bit more about yoga, if you're a beginner and you're not quite sure what's what and you want to get a deeper understanding of anatomy or how the body kind of moves around on the mat, or maybe you're just wanting to try slightly different practices, if you're wanting to try yin yoga, for example. Or maybe we're kind of building up the confidence to maybe return to the studio in person and we're not quite got that confidence just yet. So if any of those speak to you, or maybe it's something else entirely, do feel free to reach out to me. You can either check me out on Instagram, send me a message over there, or just send me an email, and I would love to practice with you. Whatever it is, I'd love to tailor the practice to suit your individual needs, and we can go on this little journey together. So as I say, all the details are below if you want to have a chat, and I hope to hear from you very soon. All right, lots of love. Mwah.